What if I told you the future of war is no longer decided by who has the biggest weapons, but by who can afford to lose the most? Right now, a $30,000 drone is forcing a $4 million missile to fire. Think about that. This is not just a battle of nations. This is a battle of economics. Iran isn't trying to outgun America. It's trying to outlast it, wave after wave of cheap expendable drones against billion-dollar defense systems built for a different kind of war. And here's the terrifying truth. Even when America wins tactically, it may be losing strategically, because every interception costs more than the attack itself. Every defense drains more than the offense. This isn't just warfare anymore. This is a financial war of attrition, where the side that spends smarter wins. And the question is no longer, who is stronger? The question is, who can survive the math? Power no longer belongs to the one who strikes harder. It belongs to the one who can afford to keep striking. What we're witnessing isn't dominance through strength, but dominance through sustainability, where cheap drones rewrite the rules and force billion-dollar systems into a losing rhythm. It challenges the traditional male instinct to equate power with size, control, and visible superiority. Men are wired to protect, to respond, to neutralize threats immediately, but this kind of warfare exploits that very instinct. Every reaction becomes a trap, every interception a calculated expense, turning strength into liability. From a woman's perspective, this looks different. Less about ego, more about endurance, patience, and long-term positioning. It's not about proving power in the moment, but preserving it over time. The real shift is psychological, where restraint becomes more powerful than reaction, and discipline outweighs dominance. Men are taught to win the fight in front of them, but this battlefield punishes that mindset, forcing a deeper awareness of consequences beyond the immediate clash. Control is no longer about overpowering the enemy. It's about mastering the impulse to respond at all costs, resisting the urge to prove strength in every moment, and recognizing that true power lies in choosing when not to engage. Cheap no longer means weak. It means relentless. What used to be dismissed as low quality is now overwhelming systems designed for precision and perfection, where disposable drones don't need to win individually because they win collectively. This shift disrupts the traditional belief that value equals strength, especially in the male mindset where power is often measured by size, cost, and visible impact. Men are conditioned to respect what is expensive, to associate higher cost with higher control, but disposable warfare flips that instinct on its head. It forces a reaction to things that seem beneath attention, draining energy and resources with every response. From a woman's perspective, there is a different lens, one that sees patterns, sustainability, and the quiet advantage of repetition over force. It's not about the individual strike, but the accumulation of pressure over time. The danger isn't in the drone itself. It's in what it forces the opponent to become. Constantly reacting, constantly spending, constantly defending against something designed to be lost. This creates a psychological strain where pride demands action, but strategy demands restraint. Dominance no longer comes from preserving every asset. It comes from understanding which battles are not worth the cost of preserving every asset and recognizing that what is easily replaceable can become the most dangerous force of all. The most expensive mistake isn't losing, it's overpaying to avoid losing. When a multi-million-dollar defense system fires at something that costs a fraction of the price, the equation is already broken. It looks like strength. It feels like control. But beneath the surface, it's a slow bleed disguised as dominance, where every successful defense quietly deepens the imbalance. Men are wired to respond, to act, to eliminate threats the moment they appear, because inaction feels like weakness. But this is where the trap tightens. Every reaction becomes predictable, every response expected, turning discipline into a liability when it's driven by instinct instead of intention. From a woman's perspective, the flaw is clearer, not in the action itself, but in the action itself, but in the pattern it creates. It's not about stopping every threat. It's about questioning whether every threat deserves a response at all. The battlefield has shifted from physical destruction to psychological exhaustion, where the goal is no longer to break defenses, but to drain them. The cost isn't just financial, it's mental, strategic, and emotional, forcing constant engagement in a game designed to wear down the responder. Control begins to slip, not when defenses fail, but when the need to defend everything overrides the ability to choose what truly matters. Strength used to mean having the biggest weapon in the room, but now it means facing 100 smaller ones at the same time. A swarm doesn't rely on perfection. It relies on pressure, on numbers, on the certainty that something will get through. Superiority was once about precision and control, but volume changes the equation, forcing even the strongest systems into overload, where dominance becomes difficult to sustain. Men are conditioned to confront challenges head-on, to defeat one opponent with focus and force, but a swarm removes that clarity. There is no single target, no decisive moment of victory, only constant incoming pressure that demands continuous reaction. It triggers the instinct to fight harder, to respond faster, but that instinct becomes the very thing that drains energy and fractures control. From a woman's perspective, the flaw isn't the strength. It's the approach, the need to address everything at once instead of recognizing patterns, pacing responses, and conserving energy for what truly matters. The real power of the swarm lies in what it does to the mind, creating chaos where there should be clarity and urgency where there should be strategy. It forces decisions under pressure, pulling attention in every direction until even the strongest defense begins to crack under its own weight. Victory can be deceptive when it only exists in the moment. Shooting down every incoming threat looks like dominance, feels like control, and satisfies the visible need to win. But beneath that surface lies a quiet imbalance where each success carries a hidden cost. The battlefield rewards outcomes we can see, yet punishes the consequences we ignore, turning short-term wins into long-term vulnerability. Men are driven to win what's in front of them, to eliminate threats completely, because unresolved danger feels like failure. These instinct builds confidence, reinforces identity, and creates the illusion of absolute control. But when every victory demands a greater sacrifice than the attack itself, that instinct becomes a weakness. From a woman's perspective, that instinct, the focus shifts away from the immediate win toward the pattern behind it, questioning not just whether the threat was neutralized, but what it costs to do so and what it sets in motion next. Control begins to erode not through defeat, but through repetition of costly success. The system keeps working. The defenses keep holding. Yet the balance quietly shifts in favor of the one who spends less, loses less, and adapts faster. It becomes a cycle where dominance is performed rather then sustained, where the appearance of strength masks the gradual depletion underneath. The real danger is not losing a single battle, but winning so many the same way that the strategy itself becomes predictable, expensive, and ultimately unsustainable. Change no longer waits for permission, it forces a decision. The battlefield has evolved faster than the mindset controlling it, and what once guaranteed dominance now risks collapse. Systems built for power are being tested by strategies built for persistence, where adaptability becomes more valuable than strength and flexibility outweigh force. Men are conditioned to rely on what has always worked, to trust proven systems, to double down when pressure rises because persistence feels like strength. But modern conflict exposes the flaw in that instinct. Repeating the same response against a changing threat doesn't reinforce control. It accelerates failure. The urge to stand firm, to resist change, becomes dangerous when the environment itself is shifting beneath your feet. From a woman's perspective, adaptability is not weakness. It is awareness. It is the ability to read patterns, to shift strategy without ego, and to understand that survival often depends on evolution, not resistance. Pressure reveals mindset more than capability. When the rules change, those who cling to old definitions of power begin to crack, not because they lack strength, but because they refuse to redefine it. The need to appear in control can override the need to actually be in control, locking decisions into outdated frameworks while the opponent rewrites the game in real time. The new rules are unforgiving to rigidity. Success no longer belongs to the one who dominates the present moment, but to the one who adjusts before that moment collapses. It demands a level of discipline that goes beyond action, requiring the courage to abandon familiar strategies and the clarity to see that what worked yesterday may be the very thing that fails today.